Straight ahead on 12 News, not forgotten, the gesture many veterans are appreciating in Plymouth. Then, fashion on the go.
Basically, thrift store on wheels.
See what's next after the rise of food trucks. But first, a warning from Brooklyn Park Police about a crime trend that police say is increasing. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Park Police are warning residents to be on the lookout for mail thieves.
Dozens of people have complained about missing or stolen mail. Here's Sonia Goins with more on the story.
Someone is taking mail out of these mailboxes, and it's not the United States Postal Service.
It causes some alarm. It's concerning, I guess, to know that people are coming around and taking things out of our mailboxes.
Chris wasn't a victim, but she lives in a neighborhood where mail was stolen. Since June, at least 17 residents have had missing mail. The thieves hit various areas in Brooklyn Park.
You always hear about it happening to somebody else. You never think that it's going to happen to you, and our neighborhood is so secluded.
But Stacy Engelkes-Kane was a victim.
Nothing I would have thought of.
Thieves hit her mailbox last month.
There was a check in here, and then, like most normal people, you put the flag up.
She's a realtor, and that check was from a client.
We almost didn't close. They had to close out their accounts.
Stacy says the mail theft has changed the way she does business.
Now I'll go and I'll hand deliver it to another agent.
Now, Stacy is not alone. More than half of the victims had their outgoing mail stolen. They put the red flag up, making it a calling card for thieves.
Just don't put the red flag up. The carriers will still take your mail with them and send it off.
Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park residents say they'll be more vigilant.
I'll be more aware of what's going on around our mailboxes.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Police also recommend picking up delivered mail as soon as possible, and if you're going to be away on vacation, put your mail on hold or have someone else pick it up for you.
A Minneapolis man is in jail accused of punching and killing a Brooklyn Park man. That Brooklyn Park man is identified as 53-year-old Anthony Lloyd. Surveillance video shows him getting punched twice, causing him to fall and hitting his head on concrete pavement. It happened last Tuesday at the Zanebrook Shopping Center parking lot. Charged with the crime is Roosevelt Johnson. According to the criminal complaint, Johnson admitted to punching Lloyd, saying Lloyd punched him first.
A federal judge has ruled a former Rogers High School student can proceed with his lawsuit against the Rogers police chief and the Elk River School District. Reed Sagehorn was suspended last year for writing the words, "Actually, yeah," when asked on a website whether he made out with a high school teacher. He later said it was meant to be a joke. Sagehorn claims he was unjustly suspended and was forced to attend another school to avoid expulsion. In Plymouth, there's a new flag flying at the city's Veterans Monument.
It joins 5 other flags that represent each branch of the military. The city raised the black POW MIA flag underneath the American flag after the city council voted to include it. When Plymouth dedicated the new Veterans Monument in June, a veteran from the Hamel American Legion brought it to the city's attention that the POW MIA flag was missing.
Somebody indicated that all the service branches are covered by the individual flags, but there are some that gave more than that, and that's the people that we are flying the flag for.
The local veterans say the flag is an important reminder that some soldiers are still missing and their families never got closure, but they are not forgotten.
Brooklyn Park residents continue to voice concerns about a section of light rail planned along County Road 81 and West Broadway. It's part of the 13-mile-long Blue Line extension that will connect Brooklyn Park to Minneapolis. Residents packed a meeting Tuesday night to offer input to planners who are working on 5 light rail stations in Brooklyn Park. While less property will be taken along West Broadway than originally planned, many residents worry about the safety of trains running so close to homes.
I'm for light rail because I've seen, the number of people that it can commute, going to Twins games, going out to the airport. I think it's fantastic, but it doesn't belong in a residential neighborhood.
How are people going to cross the street? They're going to be limited. My understanding, they have only limited places that they can go across the street. But you know that they're going to go across the street where it's most convenient for them.
My concern is with the multiple stops and being able to just commute between our communities and be able to get around.
Designers hope to have more information next month on what West Broadway will look like with light rail.
In Golden Valley, city officials are working on plans to build a parking structure for light rail. The preferred parking site for the proposed Golden Valley Road station is a triangular-shaped piece of land just south of Golden Valley Road. However, that land is owned by the Minneapolis Park and Rec Board, and park officials would have to agree to sell it. If that idea doesn't work out, another option is land north of Golden Valley Road, owned by St. Margaret Mary Church. The public can weigh in at an open house scheduled tonight. It's Wednesday night at Golden Valley City Hall from 5 to 7:30.
Changes could be on the way in Crystal regarding when and where people park their cars. Currently, the city bans on-street parking between 2 and 5 a.m. unless you have a permit. However, the city council is considering changes to that ordinance. One idea would allow street parking during non-winter months. Another would provide every household with a parking permit each year to share with guests in need of parking. The council plans to gather feedback at an upcoming traffic symposium.
And one of the parts of that was to ask the question about the existing traffic restriction or the parking restrictions. Why are they here? What's kind of the long-term vision for the city, and is that something that fits into that vision or not? So we're looking forward to hearing resident feedback about that very issue.
The traffic symposium will take place Thursday, September 10th at the Crystal Community Center from 5:30 to 7:30.
In Plymouth, there's a brand new job created to help grow and maintain the city's business community. Danette Parr is Plymouth's new economic development manager. Parr will serve as the go-to person between City Hall and the 2,000 businesses located in the city. With the thriving med-tech community and small and large companies, Plymouth has the 4th largest economy in the state, behind Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Bloomington when it comes to gross sales volume. And this new position at City Hall aims to attract new business and work with existing businesses.
I see recruitment in regards to reaching out to continuing to bring med tech, job creators, manufacturing, light industrial, some retail as well, bringing those to town, as well as retaining what we have, helping the ones we have grow and stay in town.
Parr comes from the city of Cottage Grove, where she held the same job. Well, this afternoon, dozens of ice skaters came to the Community Activity Center in Brooklyn Park to remember their coach.
Nancy Staffney died this past weekend after a more than 3-year battle with colon cancer. Today, after Nancy's funeral, skaters came to the rink to remember their coach in a way they know she would have appreciated. Staffney taught skating for more than 10 years in Brooklyn Park, and her students called her Fancy Nancy. Skaters remember their coach always telling her students to believe in themselves.
Nancy was a very positive role model. She always was smiling, and if you had a bad day, she'd always make it better. She was never really a downer. She liked to look at the positives when you were skating.
Always put a smile on little kids' faces. Knew how to make them stop crying when you have 3-year-olds on the ice for the first time. Somebody who was a life mentor to a lot of us. She taught us a lot of life lessons.
Today, skaters wore blue T-shirts with Fancy Nancy on the front. Staffney died just 3 days before her 41st birthday. Coming up, first food trucks, now fashion. How clothing is going mobile next in Money Savers.
Then later in sports, our prep football training camp reports continue with a look at the Hopkins Royals.
But first, it is heating up. Dew points rise and temperatures approach 90 Thursday. Since the first gourmet food truck opened in Los Angeles in 2008, food trucks have become a significant part of the local eating scene.
Last year, the trend noticeably expanded nationwide, with small boutiques taking their wares on the road. And today in Money Savers, Shannon Slatton shows us how that trend is showing up in our area.
From the music to the crafts, small outdoor markets are more about the experience than they are about finding a bargain.
I think it's fantastic. I've never seen it before. I've not known of it.
Lynette Hintermeister came out to New Hope to discover something new, and she found it.
This looks great. She's got fantastic prices.
She stepped inside the truck, Village on the Go, owned by Arcs Value Village, and found an instant shop.
This is fantastic.
Arcs Value Village started coordinating the truck last summer.
Basically a thrift store on wheels.
They are taking a page from the food truck trend, and research shows that's a good idea. In 2014, mobile fashion trucks started getting attention nationwide as a way to find fashion for less.
I think a lot of people, they wouldn't expect to find a Diane von Furstenberg dress vintage at a thrift store that's, retails over a couple $100.
The Village on the Go is one of many Twin Cities fashion trucks added to fashiontruckfinder.com since 2013. And just like the food truck trend, another goal of a fashion truck is to introduce people to what they might find inside a brick and mortar store.
You can't take the whole thrift store to people, but you can definitely take some of the best things and give them a glimpse of the type of quality merchandise that we have at Arcs Value Village.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
You can follow the Village on the Go through the ARC website. The next pop-up shop will be September 20th, and that'll be in Richfield. Coming up, 2 daughters, one big surprise. See what a Robbinsdale mom shared with her children coming up.
But first in sports, we'll meet a local volleyball official who's called matches for 25 years. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
The Hopkins Royals are coming off a season in which they won a lot of big games, and this year's squad is hoping that confidence carries over. Here's Jason Malillo with today's Prep Football Training Camp report.
For a lot of players on the Hopkins football team, a new season means new opportunity.
We lost a lot of really good players, and they're going on to play college football, and they're going to do well. But, a lot of these kids are excited to step in and fill those roles. I mean, last year was a great example of hard work from our kids, and these guys saw that, and they're excited to fill that role of the starter and being the guy that we're going to. So it's going to be fun. It's a fun group of kids, and they really work hard.
Senior quarterback Oscar Johnson will be under center for the Royals. He'll bring experience and stability to an offense that has a lot of new faces.
Talking with coaches and stuff like that, for a while now has, prepared me for, in that tough situation when I really need to know what to do, and, a kid who doesn't, asks me, that's going to help out a lot, and it's going to help other players, and us as a team work really hard.
Johnson was the Royals starter last year, but after struggling early, Johnson was demoted to backup. That experience will serve as motivation this fall.
I was irritated, not with any of my coaches, not with any of my players. That was on me. I didn't prepare myself the way I needed to be. When you want something so bad and then it gets taken away from you, you don't always, realize how much you want it until, it's gone. And that's really helped me out in the off season to prepare myself and, really get ready and excited for this year.
Jamichael Ellis will be the Royals' starting running back. The senior rushed for more than 400 yards last year.
I'm pretty physical. I like to mix it up in between the tackles. That's my type of running style.
On defense, senior linebacker Andy Awney and senior tackle Trayvon Pettigrew will lead the way.
We got some guys. We got some presence down there, especially our D-line. I got my guy Trayvon Pettigrew playing tackle. He's gonna be a beast. Be a monster. We're just solid. I think this year's DBs, our corners and safeties, are better than they've been in a while, in my own opinion.
The new district format in high school football doesn't make Hopkins' schedule any easier. In addition to facing some of their former Lake Conference rivals, the Royals will line up against 2014 section champions Maple Grove and Prior Lake. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Thanks, Jason. Here's the lowdown on the Royals. They were 5-5 a year ago. John Den Hartog enters his 12th year as head coach with a total of 7 starters returning. The Royals open the season at home August 22nd against Coon Rapids. The high school and college volleyball seasons will be getting started soon. On this week's Official Business, Jay Wilcox heads to the court.
This week on Official Business, we meet a Robbinsdale man who's been making the calls on the volleyball court for the past quarter century.
Subs, when you come up, if you just stand here, make eye contact before you go in. That way we make sure the scorekeeper has it.
For Tim Harlow, any time spent around volleyball is a good time.
I got started officiating because I started playing. I was on a men's USAV team, and in those leagues you officiate yourself. And I just happened to mention to my captain one night that I wouldn't be at practice because I had to go ref high school basketball. And he goes, "Oh, you're a ref?" So at the next tournament, he put me on the stand, and I learned how to referee, and now 26 years later, I'm still at it.
Harlow works everything from 12-year-olds to high school and college and even the senior games. The rules vary some and skill levels certainly are different, but calling a match is still a good challenge.
If you love the game, if it's in your blood, I don't think it really matters. But there is a conception that, that it's easier to ref the younger or the lower levels, and that's not necessarily true. Oh, we need a match winner.
The old saying for an official is if they don't notice you, you're doing well. Tim subscribes to that theory.
Oh, absolutely. We prefer not to be involved in the match, and we don't want anybody to know who we are. And it's kind of funny because people will recognize you at other events and say, hey, you were the referee for my match. And it's like, uh-oh, what happened that night? Why do you remember me? But usually it's pretty good. They remember you because you do a good job.
No matter the sport, fans and coaches tend to get restless when officials stop play to meet to discuss a call. Harlow says one thing guides all decisions.
The bottom line is we need to get the call right. And so, yes, I have called my second referee over, or I have been called over to the stand. We've even called line judges to the stand. We'll talk about it and get it right. But generally, we communicate with our signals, so there really isn't a need for that in most cases.
For Official Business, Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Watch for our final official business of the summer next Wednesday. So yeah, you don't want to be remembered necessarily.
That was a great
for something
soundbite.
bad. Yeah.
Thanks, John. Still ahead, a secret a Robbinsdale mom couldn't wait to share with her kids.
We'll reveal the big surprise when we come back.
And finally, take a look at what caused a future Robbinsdale resident to cry happy tears.
She's the recipient of a Habitat for Humanity home now under construction.
It feels amazing. I am overjoyed. This is something that I actually put my sweat, tears, my aches, my pains, non-sleep, sleep, everything in.
The pride factor in Robbinsdale just went up tenfold. Along with volunteers she calls angels, Deshawnlee Nickerson is working on the home herself, helping to install the floors and put up sheetrock. Construction started in early June, and it's something she never thought she would be doing.
Power tools, I have a fear of that. So I never would have thought that I'll be actually building my own home.
Deshawnlee currently lives in a North Minneapolis duplex, and her Robbinsdale home is supposed to be finished in October. And Deshawnlee says the biggest joy was telling her 7- and 6-year-old daughter. She says they were so excited they brought tears to her eyes.
Looking good, too. The house looks great.
Really nice. Isn't that a great thing? That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow.